Joshua chapter 9. I want you to look with me in Joshua chapter 9 this morning. Such an important passage because in Joshua chapter 9, we're going to find that Joshua gets conned. He gets tricked. He gets deceived. And if Joshua can be tricked and deceived, it's possible for you and me to be tricked and deceived. Now, the overarching theme through the book is that Joshua needs to be strong. He's leading into a space that the Jewish people have never experienced. He's leading into a space that no one in history had experienced. When had there been a nation where God had shown himself so strong that he delivers them from slavery and gives them a land and leads them supernaturally by his hand to have this nation? There are only two nations in history that have the fingerprints of God all over them like that. Israel is the primary one in a smaller way, but in still a distinctive way. The United States of America has experienced that. But as we go through the book, I just pray that you catch this, that Joshua, as he's walking this path of uncertainty, has to be strong. He's got to be courageous. He's got to lean into God. He's got to make good decisions. There's going to be people who are going to be following. Some are going to like him. Some are not going to like him. But either way, it doesn't matter. He has to honor God, and he's got to be strong. Now, you could say, Mark, I don't see the significance of Joshua. It's just an Old Testament book. It's old stories. So I want to show you a 2-minute video clip from this week. And what I'm trying to say to you in this room, and those of you joining me online, is you're going to have to be strong for the days ahead. We are facing a world that no generation has ever faced. You've heard me talk about AI. That doesn't make any difference. Oh, really? Cyber issues, cyber attacks. That doesn't really make any issues. Oh, yeah? Nuclear conflict. I mean, I'm just telling you, these are some things that we are facing in a whole new way. Listen to this and ask yourself the question, am I strong enough? Have I got the strength of the Lord to navigate this? Watch this.
Not many nations would be able to push back. I don't even think the United States would be able to push back if tomorrow Russia and China decides to come together against us. I think that would be very tricky, and I think it would be very difficult for us to be able to even have a fighting chance, let alone a nation like Ukraine. When it comes to Russia, they have not used the most innovative capabilities yet. They're focusing on more traditional war-fighting capabilities, but that's clearly not enough when you have a whole nation pushing back and going out into the fights. So it's easy to discount it now. It's maybe too early too. We have to be cautious. I always remind people that President Putin is not stupid, and we may not yet understand what his plan was all along. And I would really urge people not to just discount him. This is not the full force of the Russian capabilities. Quite honestly, I'm way more scared about China. So there's multiple options for China to help Russia as it is. The question really is what kind of scale. Are they really going to go in, with full capabilities? Because sharing that kind of insight would also help Russia potentially at some point have capabilities that maybe China does not want Russia to have. The most advanced Chinese capability that they would probably consider giving away first would probably be some of the cyber offense capabilities. But then you also have some AI and machine learning capabilities that could be used to look at satellite imagery and find where troops are located, be able to do better real-time analysis of what's going on the ground, potentially even be used to track the Ukrainian president as well, who is obviously the primary target of Russia. So all these technologies can be used at looking at massive amount of data and be able to analyze it rapidly, efficiently, and come up to conclusions that humans would not be able to make rapidly. And so that's the kind of tech capabilities that could easily be consumed and even just data provided back to Russia without even giving access to the capabilities themselves. And so that's things that I wouldn't be surprised is already being shared and used. It would be very difficult to prove, of course. If you start attacking Russia, now they have a legitimate claim at going after the U.S. side of the house, and I can tell you our cyber defense are very poor at the kindergarten level already when it comes to critical infrastructure, power, water systems. So it would be very impactful to U.S. citizens if something were to happen. I can tell you they could potentially take down the grid for weeks, if not months.
Wow, take down the grid for weeks or months? I mean, you start thinking through some of the things that he just described, China and Russia against the U.S. How many of you heard about, Russia like suggesting there could be nuclear exchange? I don't know if you saw the little blurb that came out from Washington, D.C. I sent it to our staff. It said, if there's a nuclear exchange, just go to the center of your house, and they had the little pictures about how to get in the center. And then it said, make sure you wear your mask and separate 6 feet. And I'm sitting there thinking, in a nuclear exchange, you're worried about face masks. Just so you know, friends, that'll be the least of our problems in that scenario. You think about the power grid shutting down for months. That means that little fan in your heater doesn't turn to heat your house. That means all the pipes freeze in your house still. You say, well, we just got to make it to spring. Okay, then it's going to be hot, right? And then winter's going to come the next. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. Friends, I want to say this. You're going to have to be strong. You have to lean into God.